Hey everybody, it's James Schofield again. Just heading over to the store, kind of dragging today, so I'm gonna get myself an energy drink. My fellow aspiring voice actors and working voice actors, question, do you find yourself not skipping the ads anymore? When the YouTube ads come up and that skip button comes up, I'm finding myself not skipping as much anymore. And why? Because I'm trying to get into voice acting. I'm starting to listen to the ads a lot more closely now and starting to kind of analyze what that voiceover audio sounds like, trying to figure out, okay, all right, what did they do there? All right, how they level it? You know, what sort of maybe EQ settings were they using here? How is the rhythm? How is the pitch? Oh, right there, I noticed that they raised it a little bit because of this. I'm just analyzing. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about that too with this, because with this now being what I'm trying to pursue, I find myself just analyzing everything. And I think that that's important because, you know, it keeps you in the know, I guess. Lets you know what's currently going on in the market. Because, you know, voice acting, I mean, it's a business, right? And I'm working on growing a business here. And part of the business is market research. So I'm doing that market research now just by listening to those ads and getting an idea of how they're doing things right now. And it works in different formats too. You know, I'm noticing obviously TV commercials are going to be different than YouTube commercials, although I am noticing a lot of times some of the ads are starting to bleed together and look very similar. Of course, because everybody's streaming these days, so naturally I think that that's where the trend goes, right? It is just kind of keeping me in the loop there. And I'm starting to, you know, when I'm reading, even if I'm not verbalizing it, I've always been a slow reader, and I'm starting to realize it's because I'm verbalizing in my head and actually reading every single word individually. I find myself being more conscious of that now. So even if I'm not reading it out loud, which honestly I am starting to read a lot more out loud, but if I'm not, I'm making sure to be conscious of in my head what sort of kind of pitch I would be using, what sort of rhythm I'd be using and such. You know, I can't remember where I heard it from. It was a book that I was actually reading about going through my divorce. And it has to do with going over how really just kind of imagining a task and completing the task and what's involved in that task. Just imagining it fires up the same synapses and everything in your brain that would be firing if you were actually doing the task. So I find myself, even if I'm not like reading out loud, I'm making sure to verbalize that in my head and put the pitches and put the rhythm and everything in my head, because that's going to help keep my brain going in that voiceover mode. So I just wanted to talk about that and see what everybody else thought. Do you find yourself just watching ads a lot more than you used to, and you know, reading out loud a lot more? Let me know in the comments, and if you're liking how we're doing this little format, just make sure to subscribe so that way you can get updated whenever I have anything new coming up. And as always, thanks for letting me give you some sound.